All right, y'all. This is absolutely crazy. I know I cannot be the only one who feels like this. I know you feel like this too. Time is moving very quickly. Time is moving. You know how we all say this, like time is flying. Like it's already July 2025. We're already more than halfway through 2025. This year still feels new. I look back and I'm like, yo, this year kind of this we just started. That's how I feel. I feel like we just started. But then I look at the calendar and we have already completed almost more than half of the year. 2026 is fastly approaching. 2030 is fastly approaching. We are living in a time like never before. So much so that time is moving faster than any other point in human history. This is not an opinion. This is a fact. AP News. A faster spinning Earth may cause timekeepers to subtract a second from world clocks. So let me get this straight. Welcome to Science Class with Nick Jones. If you made it to this class, I'm sorry to inform you that this is remedial science, and I actually don't know hardly anything about science, but here you are listening to me, right? So let's break this down. The Earth is spinning. When the Earth completes its rotation, we know that to be one day. Is everybody following with me? We know that to be one day. The Earth is spinning so fast. It's completing its rotation in under a day. The Earth is spinning so fast. It's completing its rotation under 24 hours. The days are shortening. I'm going to say it one more time. The days are shortening. And just like Duncan Agnew, geophysicist at UC San Diego Institute of Oceanography, said, yet another indication that we're in a very unusual time. So let me get this straight. And I know you, when we talk about we're living in a very unusual time, I think you understand what I'm talking about, right? I think we're living in the end days, in the end times, in the last days, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? I think we living up in that. And I know there's a lot of you who might believe the same thing. A lot of you, maybe you don't believe that. I'm not here to convince you. I just want you to understand something. We are living in a time where time is literally speeding up to the point that the days are shortening. Never has this ever happened before in history. In fact, you want to know something interesting? Going back to our science class, right? Genuinely speaking, generally speaking, I got a little bit of that. Whatever you get from them, you know, what JFK was saying, from the vaccines, I think I got it from the vaccines. The Earth has been slowing down. So over the past thousands of years, the Earth has been slowing down. And this is very interesting. And you may not know this, but since 1972, we've added 27 leap seconds to time. So the Earth has been slowing down. And this is by milliseconds. But these milliseconds, they do what they do. They add up. So over time, we have to add more time to the clocks to even this out. And we've done that 27 times since 1972. You know what we've never done since 1972? Add a negative second to the clocks. And this is exactly what we're proposing to do. We would add a negative leap second to the clocks. And this would have to take place, according to this article, this would have to take place sometime in 2029. So we would need to do this sometime in 2029. We also have a former, what do you call it? I was going to say a Navy man. He's not a Navy SEAL. Or maybe he might have been a Navy SEAL. I don't know. I'm not sure. Shout out to all the Navy SEALs. But you have Dennis McCarthy, retired director of time for the U.S. Naval Observatory. So he's the retired director of time for the U.S. Navy. He said, we absolutely are going to have to do this. Like, we're headed towards a negative leap second. It's just a matter of when. So it's not if, it's a matter of when. Let me just remind you, we've never done this ever before in history. We've never done this. We don't even know the full consequences of what's going to take place if we do this. And by all indication, this is something that we're going to have to do. 1 second. 1 second doesn't sound like much. But in today's interconnected world, getting the time wrong could lead to huge problems. Huge problems. A negative leap second. We don't necessarily know what's going to happen to a lot of what we interact with here on Earth. A lot of what we interact with here on Earth is tied to software in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, the phone that we use, our computers, the internet, the work that we do, the products that we buy and consume, all of that in some way, shape, or form is tied to software in some capacity. In some capacity. From a supply chain standpoint, to get this water to me to where I'm holding it in my hand, there was software involved to manage the supply chain, to create the product, to manufacture the product, to manage the warehouse and the operations. There's software intertwined into almost everything that we consume here on Earth. The financial systems. Time is very crucial to the financial systems for a various amount of reasons. When you start tinkering with time, when you start subtracting time from software, weird things start to happen because software was not designed to have time removed from it, because that was never even something that we were even considering. That was never even a possibility. But what do you think is going to happen when we start removing a second? Even a second is big. When we start removing a second from these legacy softwares that these financial institutions are using, who are not prepared to have even a second removed, because everything they do is based on time. When they are validating transactions, when they are denying transactions, when they are approving, when you swipe your card, when you go to the ATM and you're trying to pull money out, when they're trying to keep a detailed list of transactions and so much more, this is dependent on time. And if time is off, even in the smallest sense, that could cause ripple effects that we have no idea could possibly turn into. Not to be doom and gloom, but we're living in a time where we are literally being told that they are going to shorten the days because time is moving too fast. It's very interesting. One of my initial thoughts, because Elliot was the first person who actually told me this story, one of my initial thoughts was, how come we have to intervene? Like, if the earth is spinning faster or slower, how come we have to intervene? And it's because the entire world is built on this system of time that we created as human beings. When time starts to become out of line, when we can no longer agree on time, that creates conflicts globally. And those conflicts inevitably are going to have consequences. And that's just from 1 second. There is a possible scenario. If this continues down the path where it's on right now, there is a possibility that we would have to do this again. We would have to remove another second. I'm just saying the possibilities of what could potentially happen are almost endless because we don't know what's going to happen. I'll tell you this. In 2017, there was a study. The gentleman's name is two people, Bilham and Bendick. That's his real name. From the University of Colorado. They said that the Earth's increased rotation level, like, so the Earth's, we're back in science class. The Earth is spinning so fast, right? When the Earth spins so fast, faster than normal, essentially what's going to happen is we're going to see more seismic events on Earth, which essentially means we're going to see more earthquakes. That's what that means. We're going to see more seismic activities, which means we're going to see more earthquakes. I'm not trying to scare y'all. I'm just trying to let you know. Now is not the time to not pay attention to this stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. You remember what Jesus said in Matthew 24? He said this, speaking of time, see that no one leads you astray. For many will come in my name saying, I am the Christ, and they will lead many astray. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed by this, for this must take place. But the end is not yet, for nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are but the beginning of birth pains. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and put you to death, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will fall away and betray one another and hate one another. And many false prophets will arise and lead many astray. And because lawlessness will be increased, the love of many will grow cold, but the one who endures to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be proclaimed throughout the whole world as a testimony to all nations. And then the end will come. Verse 15, the abomination of desolation. So when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by the prophet Daniel standing in the holy place, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let the one who is on the housetop not go down to take what is in his house. And let the one who is in the field not turn back to take his cloak. And alas, for women who are pregnant and for those who are nursing infants in those days, pray that your flight may not be in winter or on a Sabbath. For then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been from the beginning of the world until now, no, and never will be. And if those days had not been cut short, no human being would be saved. But for the sake of the elect, those days will be cut short. Listen, there's several different interpretations. There's several different commentaries. There's a lot of different perspectives that people have in relation to those verses, right? I'm simply here to say this. we're living through some things that we have never seen ever before in the history of Earth. I think we can all see the writing on the wall. I think we know what comes next. I think we know where these things lead to. I think we know. So for those of us who know, we must stay prepared. We must make sure that we are staying close to Him during this time. Now is not the time to go back into the world and to fall away from Him, because who knows how much time we truly have. I would love to know what you think about this whole story, how it relates to Scripture. I would love to know what prophetic message you're receiving in the Spirit. So drop it down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Like this video, subscribe. I'm out.